Hello and welcome back to the Sacred Gates Ascension podcast. My name is Illura. For a long time in my life, I was aware of the elements: fire, air, water, earth. And when I studied Chinese medicine through kinesiology, I became aware of wood as well, the expression of wood in the body through the systems of the traditional Chinese medicine system. And for a long time, before my study of kinesiology and Chinese medicine, I was aware of the elements in more of a Wicca, pagan way through rituals. And I never really felt like I really understood enough in a practical sense the elements, yet it was something I was drawn back to. And it wasn't until I started practicing Qigong and studying with my main teacher that I had someone explained it to me in a way that really helped me. And what I find with the elements, as with many things in the mainstream spiritual stream, is that concepts like the elements can simply remain as a theory, which means that it's just experienced through the mind as an intellectual concept. And I found that really limiting. So once I understood them more as principles, then the elements started to take on more of a practical, useful, relatable in a real way for me. So they weren't just physical elements as in wind in the sky and fire in the fireplace, earth that I walk on, but they weren't just then intellectual concepts that I kind of couldn't really enter into the sacred doors of the information there. So the principles are what allowed me to get more to the essence, of which I'm still learning so much about. So I wanted to do a video that kind of helps to bridge, to take us away from the intellectual level of conceptualizing the elements to more bridging the physical elements with their principles, which is basically embodying the elements as principles so that we can utilize their forces for good instead of evil. So first I'm going to teach you the way it made sense to me, and it was through looking at how the elements interact with the tree. And the tree is a wonderful example for many different things, which is why we have the tree of life existing in many realms of knowledge throughout time and space. The tree is a huge example, a wonderful, perfect example for many things. So when I first learned about the elements in this useful way, I looked at it this way. So hope you can see my beautiful tree. So just say we have the sun up here. Beautiful sun. And what happens is, I will work from the top down, just for this example. So the sun shines its light, which is the fire element, onto the tree. So the fire element touches the top of the tree, for example, and it shines down on the tree. And we also have the wind blowing through the leaves and touching the tree. And of course we also have the rain that falls from the sky. And down here we have the earth. So already we have fire, we have air, we have water, we have earth. And wood, as I said, always kind of was a little bit eluding me. I was like, what is this wood element? Now, wood for me comes from the actualization of all of these elements coming together in a balanced way. We get a beautiful, strong tree, which is made from the element of wood. So wood, for me, in my understanding, is the actualization of the elements of earth, air, fire and water coming together through the process and evolution of nourishment. So if, for example, you have a seed but there's not enough nutrients in the soil, there's not enough of these other elements, then this little seed won't grow into a beautiful, strong tree. So the wood element is something that is like the nourishment. It's the as I said, the actualization, the proof in a sense that there were other elements working in unison and in harmony in order to create a sustainable life. This is why when you're doing standing practice, just say you could do it under a tree, just say you're doing standing practice, a good thing to imagine is that your legs are like tree trunks. Yeah, and that comes together through the elements balancing through your body through practice, through principles, not just staying up here as, yes, these elements. So now I'm going to show you how this exact same model works in the human body, which is where for me it was like, okay, that makes sense. Now I can actually genuinely feel like I can use these elemental forces, okay? Okay, so here's my little guy. If you've noticed, gender neutral, let's just make it simple, okay? Okay, so we have our little guy here. So this person, and this is what we're all like, is the tree. So the tree, the sun. The sun is in the upper dantian. Yeah, the sun. It is the element of fire. Yeah, creativity, inspiration, the mind, freeing the mind like the sun, allowing its rays, like a fire needs some air, right, to help it to, the air to help it to fan its flames and let it go out into the universe. Okay, so the fire, and here, just like a tree, we have the air element. Yeah, the air element. The air element is connected to the middle dantian, which is also the house for the solar plexus and the heart. And the air element is also necessary for new knowledge, neutral knowledge to come through. And it is also helping the emotions to move into their resonating frequency, which we often trap in our heart area. You know, people feel anxiety and heartburn and heartache and things like that here. So this area here is actually resonating at the frequency of air. It's very light, but a lot of us densify this area, and working on this area, the middle dantian, is quite a calling for many people, because we do get very unbalanced in this area. Then of course we have the water center, the water element. The water element is very expansive as well, flowing. It also has a lot to do with our emotions and our vital energy. And then of course the earth element, where we draw our nourishment from the earth, our vital energy here coming from the earth and resonating with our connection and magnetic pull to the earth itself. And so here we can see, just like a tree, of course the wood element grows us like a tree. Now our legs and our arms are the branches, are the limbs of the tree, you see. And our core, our central channel, is what connects us to the earth, just like a tree does, through our root system, our grounding through the earth element. Now, of course, there's a negative and a positive side, a contrasting polarity to all the elements, and I'll do another video on that. But for now, I just wanted to show you how very much like a tree we are. And so we house these elements and express them through our bodies, and the dantians are housing these elemental forces for us. And so this is how for me, I really came to understand on a deeper level, in a more practical, usable, experiential way. And so when I do standing, it's a great practice to do standing practice under a tree or near a beautiful tree you love. And you can really feel how much you are like it, with the earth energy rising up through your body. Yeah, creating a sense of floating here, but only through having that stability here. The air floating here, soft and open here, and grounded through your lower dantian, and allowing your energies to blossom out through the top of your head while you're nice and grounded, building that nourishing wood energy through your body, and allowing the mind to free itself into the more like celestial and ethereal. As the fire's flames disappear in the fireplace, so does our mind want to be free to wander as the amazing substance of consciousness that it is. So although this looks like a really big mess, I hope that it's helped to explain somewhat of what helped me with the elements themselves. And so then we start to look at elements in all things, and how all things are expressions of the elements, often more than one. Obviously, we have, many expressions of the elements in many things, and you start to be able to experience it in your own body and thus understand it more as external elements in the world as well. So get a feeling for, I'd like to do some videos on experiencing the elements in the body, and maybe you can have a look at your own body and feel what is out in your own body. Maybe you have too much air element in your legs. You don't have very grounded strong legs. Maybe your earth element is too muddy and or stuck, and you're not very good at moving forward, getting things done in time. You don't really think very freely, a bit stubborn. That can be the earth element out of balance as well. And so all the elements, like I said, have their contrasting experiences to tell a story, and we can experience, and we do experience these consciously and unconsciously. So see how much consciousness you can bring and what element is out for you today, and we'll do more videos on how to balance those elements. Bye bye.